On the 22nd of May 2023, former President Muhammadu Buhari commissioned the 650,000 barrels per day Dangote Refinery located at the Lekki Free Zone in Lagos State, Nigeria. Described as one of the largest in the world, the Dangote Refinery has the capacity of producing 3 billion standard cubic feet of gas per day. Since then, the privately owned refinery is yet to be operational. One of the reasons adduced is the lack of domestic crude feedstock. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited owns 20% stake in the refinery. Company sources had said NNPC Limited had recently agreed to supply 6 million barrels of crude oil as feedstock to the Dangote refinery this December. According to reports by tanker tracking data S&P Global, the Otis tanker carrying 1 million barrel cargo of Nigeria's Agbami crude from Chevron's terminal set sail on December 6th and is confirmed to have docked at Dangote Offshore Crude Receiving Terminal. With the arrival and expected commencement of operations at the Dangote refinery, industry experts say there is hope that Nigeria can now attain her target of reducing petroleum import and bridging the inadequacy of existing state-owned refineries, as well as transforming Nigeria's oil and gas sector. Georgina Ndukwezainka, Arise News.
Okay, we're now joined by an oil and gas expert, Olabode Sowunmi, to take a look at this new development. Very warm welcome to Newsnight.
Thank you.
Well,
good evening. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you. Quite a number of Nigerians would be saying hooray. I mean, Dangote Refinery coming on stream with a first shipment of, crude oil to it, right?
Yes. They will be saying that, but let's look at the facts of the matter. Because like we always say, what analysts are supposed to do is not to give an opinion, but to analyze the facts and allow people to see. So even though the crude came from Agbami, which is basically Famfa, Chevron, and Equinor, they didn't have a direct deal with Dangote. Dangote actually entered into transactions with Shell Trading, which basically meant that they bought that crude at the normal
ongoing international price, yeah,
plus an amount for rent and plus a premium on it, because basically there's an intermediary in the transaction. So in simple terms, the crude that is made available to Dangote is very competitive with a little extra. So those are the facts of the matter. I mean, that's public information. Those are the facts of the matter. The issue is that given the situation and the direct impact on socioeconomic data, if there was ever a time that the man needed waiver that could impact Nigeria,
this would have been the most...
But that is just an opinion. I mean, because Dangote is Dangote and he has his history and all that. But, I mean, like I said, if we look at all the things... Now, the other part of it has to look at policies that will be put in place that will ensure sustainability. There is the unconfirmed rumor that a significant amount of our crude oil has had false sales. In simple terms, they have already been sold. So we may be having certain challenges with
meeting supply.
Yes, in terms of sustainability, even for Dangote. Because after that, I understand he's going to have another deal involving NNPC, even though this directly involves NNPC as well. And after that, something with BP. So, but there must be sustainability, because we have this energy appetite in terms of the growing capacity of the nation, in terms of our vehicles, our machinery, and all that. So those are the facts. Those are the facts that are there.
On ground.
On ground.
Yeah, so it is not to huru yet to say, I mean, to Nigerians, the consumers who, have been looking at the Dangote refinery as the, company that is going to make petroleum products cheaper. But from your analysis, it just might not be like that. Petrol price may just still remain as high, if not higher.
We analyzed this, even on this station a couple of times. There was a particular TV station that the presenter was angry with me, because I said that we just need to look at the facts. I mean, if you watch crime detectives, they don't conclude that somebody is guilty. You just follow the facts and see what he says there. There are advantages, significant advantages that it does bring on board. For example, there's a cost that goes into refining, which That cost, either two, had been going to refineries of other people before, but that cost is going to provide jobs. So the effects will probably be on the long term.
It will spiral.
Yes, it will spiral. There will be supply industries, support industries that will go with that, people that will supply them food, people that will do janitorial services, schools that will come up industry. So there are multiplier effects, but they may not be immediate. So those are the things to know. The other part of it is also certain policies that should come up. Now we have a regulator, in this case, NMDPRA. If you take, there's a refinery in Egypt, Mito, I believe, which is Middle East Refinery, something like that. One of the policies in that place states that they can serve as a place for receiving crude and refine. However, all gasoline, petrol that is refined in that refinery must remain within Egypt. It is yours, but you must sell it within Egypt. So in simple terms is that if there are certain challenges with respect to sufficient amount of crude, we can open the market to Angola. We have a 40-year OPEC relationship with them. There's Gabon. I mean, there are options which we need to expand our mind given the circumstances that we find ourselves. Those are things that we need to look into. But the truth is that this is a pure free capital market.
Yeah.
You understand? And it is the dynamics of economics that are going to come and play. Whether they choose to do some kind of waiver and all that, it should not be what we'll be looking at.
For the Nigerian market.
At the moment.
Then what will be the effect of NNPC's investment in Dangote Refinery? They committed about $2 billion or so.
I'm not an economist in terms of
you are not a gas expert.
Yeah, so I'm trying to
1 + 1 together, you'd
you reach out to. Well, definitely, NNPC is invested. I mean, it's as simple as that. They have put in money, which means they're invested, which means that technically every step that Dangote takes, they should be aware, and they should be aware of the consequences, not just in terms of the operations of the company, but in terms of the impact on the Nigerian public. That's the much I can say. In terms of the strategic intent for the investment, that is something only an NPC can say. Because you cannot second guess why a person is doing something except they've been asked.
Now, particularly when its own refineries are down, although Mele Kyari has said that, look, the target set for the Port Harcourt refinery is going to be met. But again, he raised some worrisome issue that leaving the oil infrastructure in the hands of, private security
non-state actors.
No, state actors. It's very dangerous and it's unwholesome. How, as an oil and gas expert, do you reconcile this?
It's simple economics. It's actually an aberration and also an indictment on the people who made those decisions. You see, we get significantly emotional, and we because of the emotion, we do not put things in a row. There is a reason why the Constitution exists. There is a reason why the military exists. In the Constitution, the job of the military is to defend the territorial integrity of the nation. It is not the job of
a private security.
It's not the job of vigilante. So if the Navy is given an ultimatum to do their work, and the defense and the army is given an ultimatum to defend it, and they cannot defend it, we may as well disband them and do a new Navy. Because that is their job. In other words, I mean, just like you wake up in the morning and come to the news station and you think about your work and you look at developments in media, that's what the army does. They wake up in the morning, they think about defense tactics, they think about strategy, the naval people, they get into the waters and all that. If they are doing that 24 hours and they cannot do one of the major responsibilities, then there's something that is fundamentally wrong. I remember when this thing was done, this was like a year and a half ago, there was a gentleman who was aggressive because he was from that region, and he was saying that, no, the people there, they have greater capacity. And I said, see, look, it is the integrity of Nigeria as an entity that is at stake. Because if the Navy cannot do its job, not only do you become a laughing stock to the rest of the world,
become a lame duck. You
also kill the morale of the naval officers themselves. People need to be challenged. No matter the terrain, no matter the circumstances, The Army works with intelligence, the Navy works with intelligence, the Air Force works with intelligence. Within the three of them, they must find a solution. You will remember that the Russians were the first to land a space shuttle
in the moon.
not before the moon, in space. President Kennedy then went to NASA and got the military and said, between all of you, we need you to find whichever way to land somebody on the moon. And it was exactly 10 years later, 1970, when America landed the first person on the moon. People need to be challenged, and they should be challenged.
Yes, Nigeria's, we need to be challenged, even with the great human capacity and the rest. And thank you so very much, Olabode Sowunmi, oil and gas expert, for coming to shed some light on Nigeria's oil infrastructure.
Thank you.